Microphones, microphones, microphones. The used, abused, and very frequently neglected piece of radio equipment that you can't live without if you expect to talk on your radio. As you can see, I have just a couple microphones sitting here on the bench today. I have probably one of almost every microphone that's ever been made. Some of them I have well over a dozen. There are a few I think I might have more than 2 dozen of. I have every Turner, every version of an A-Static. I have microphones back into the early 1900s, old Roche Salts crystals. I've got harp microphones, studio mics. But this video is mainly on radio or microphones used with ham radios and CBs. And you'll see a lot of microphones here that are very popular, especially the A-Statics style and the Turners, especially with a lot of the ones you see in the background there. Now for starters, a lot of these microphones, just because they don't say A-Static or Turner on them, doesn't mean that's not who made them, because odds are it probably is who made them. This does not say A-Static, on the base here. It's an A-Static. This is a factory microphone for an ARF-2000 CB radio. This is a amplified microphone, but it does not have a battery. It's powered by the radio through the cord. Unlike, let's say, the Tug 8 stand here, this does have a battery in it, your standard power mic. Here's another good example. This is a Browning. This is a factory Browning microphone. It's obviously, you can just look at it and see it looks exactly like, now this one's not a power mic, but you can see, you can tell who made it just by looking at the style. It looks exactly like those 3 microphones right there. That's because that's who made it, Turner. Here's a SSB Plus 2. Here's another little off-brand one, but it's actually a Turner because it's exactly the same body style, the same little crest right here. So it's a Turner. It just was made for somebody else. Problems you can have with these things, because you've just been to your local Hamfest, flea market, yard sale, eBay, public auction, I don't care where you got them, dug them out of your backyard, but you just got your microphone you've always wanted to have, you plug it into your radio, and it either doesn't work, or worse yet, you damage your radio. First thing, most importantly, I know a lot of people don't do it, check to make sure it's wired correctly for your radio before you plug it in and turn your radio on. Some radios have voltage coming out through mic sockets, like it's an ARF-2000 microphone there. So, you could send voltage into the wrong circuit inside your radio and actually damage it. Especially when you get into ham radio microphones, they do have a hotline running out. So just check your wiring first. Now, if it doesn't work, this is going to sound stupid, but you'd be surprised how many microphones I've had sent to me for repair. And there wasn't anything wrong with them. A power mic. The battery. Make sure it has a battery in it, and make sure the battery is actually still working. It's not dead. I've gotten microphones before there wasn't anything wrong with them other than the customer either didn't put a battery in it or the battery was dead. So, check your batteries. Wiring. Oh my God, I don't know where some people ever learned to solder, but I have seen some horrible nightmare shows inside these mic plugs and inside the microphones. People go and rewire the switches in them. Holy shit. I mean, whoo, boy, some people, you really need some practice. No offense. Other people do a great job. Your cartridges can be bad. It happens. Especially on very old microphones, if they're like a Roche salt crystal. It's salt. And what does salt absorb? It's hygroscopic. It absorbs water. Salt crystals swell and the element stops working. And they just go bad. Your dynamic cartridges, I replace a lot of mic cartridges. Now, most of these are not available anymore. So you either have to find a donor microphone to steal a cartridge out of, or convert it over, if it's a power mic, convert it over to like a modern Electret cartridge type. But another thing on power mics. People send me their radios all the time to have what done to them? When I do a restoration, replace the electrolytic capacitors. They seem to forget, if it's a power mic, it has an amplifier circuit. It has 1 or 2 or more transistors or FETs in it, and there are electrolytic capacitors in these microphones. So don't be surprised. I've repaired a lot of microphones. The only thing that was wrong with them was one of those little electrolytic capacitors was bad, and it was shorted out. and the microphone didn't work. All I had to do was recap it, and the mics worked fine. So don't fret, think, oh God, I just bought that Turner microphone back there for, $30 and it doesn't work. It could just be it needs, 15 or 20 cents worth of electrolytic capacitors in it, because little caps, they're usually like somewhere between 1 to maybe 33 microfarads. There's only a couple cents worth of parts in there. So replace the caps. Now, some of these, you get back into here, like the SA Delta, the Echo Master, or like, a Turner Expander 500, they'll have a lot more electrolytic capacitors because they have a lot of additional circuitry in them, especially if you get into Echo mics. But like I say, just something to be aware of. So, like I say, the main thing is don't plug it in until you're sure it's wired right. So, I hope some of these tips can help you get your microphone up and running. And like I say, a lot of people don't realize there's electrolytic capacitors that go bad in them. So, just little tips and tricks to help you get your mic, your most unthought about and untaken care of piece of radio equipment that could really use some attention